Well, greetings, YouTube. LMS Tactical here. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are all doing good. I'm doing good. I'm actually just outside. Just picked up my new glasses. You might remember one of my videos. I don't know, about 3, 4, 5 videos back, where I smashed my head and broke my glasses. So I've been basically, I need reading glasses to use a computer, and it's been a nightmare, man, for me trying to read. So I just picked these up about 5 minutes ago. And I don't know. I think they look okay, but they sure as hell feel really good. Oh my God! If you wear glasses and you've ever had to, use temporary glasses for a while, or an old pair, you know what a headache that is, literally. But anyways, I was thinking. It's too sunny here. I was thinking to myself, what's my video going to be about today? And as usual, I'm just going to see what pops out here, comes out of my mouth. One of the last things I've thought about was, it's not a new subject, but it's, of course, talking about liberals. But I would love if I could get every liberal in America in one room and just ask them all a collective question, where there was no heckling and there was this is like an impossible dream, but actually serious discussion with liberals. I would ask them exactly what kind of country it is that they want America to be. In other words, if they had their dreams, all of the propaganda and all of the hate and all of the buzzwords and buzz sentences and buzz theories set aside, if you could wake up tomorrow and have America be the country you want, what is that country? And then I would work backwards from that and talk about how they are going about achieving that dream that they theoretically have. Because, yeah, it's no secret I don't like liberals. I think they're dangerous, the most dangerous threat to our way of living. That's no secret. But I gotta believe that there is, it's easy to write them off and say there's some sort of mass hypnosis or whatever. But I was giving it some thought, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to articulate this well because it's jumbly and I've only had one cup of coffee. But I don't think that most of them, and I would go as far as to say, I'd say about 95% or higher, have absolutely no clue as to the details and the ramifications of the people that they back and the theories that they espouse to back and support. Let's take socialism. So, this may offend people, but most of you that are subscribers know that I'm not too concerned with, I don't like offending people just for the sake of doing it, but if the truth offends you, you need to look at yourself. The truth is supreme, in my opinion, in all scenarios. So, let's just take a segment of the population, gay people. Whether or not I'm pro-gay, like gay, support gays, or hate gays, it doesn't really matter. Since I brought it up, I'll tell you that I wish that it wasn't an issue. I mean, why is it such an issue? What do I give a shit what people do behind closed doors? Gay people tend to make it an issue, and that bothers me because you're kind of like shoving your theories into my face and your things that are personal. But that gets complicated. So, gay people, almost probably 99% of gay people are liberals. That's probably pretty accurate. Yet, if you were to just separate the gays from my fictitious fantasy group of liberals that are going to actually shut the fuck up and listen to somebody speak and ask and answer questions, have dialogue instead of name calling, you would find that a poll of this group of gay people, that the majority of them, the vast majority of them, probably have absolutely no real grasp of the ramifications of what their world would be should their dreams come true and we were to suddenly develop into a socialist country, which is anybody with even a slight education, and I didn't finish high school, knows that socialism is the last step before communism. and how gays are treated in those environments. I mean, you can look at what some people might want to call the extreme, and we'll look at Islam, that a lot of people believe is a religion. I believe it's a political slash military wing that poses as a religion in order to get, supporters and whatnot. But whatever you call Islam, you can go on YouTube, you can go anywhere you want, go into any gay group and bring up Islam, and these people will fight you, and in many cases physically, to get you to support the tenets of Islam and the rights of Islam to do whatever it is they want to do and to live the way they want to live. Have they ever seen any of the videos that are on the internet of various towns that are under Sharia law where they're throwing gay people or allegedly gay people, anybody that's identified as gay based on the way they walk, talk, or who they're with, or rumors, tossed off of 4 and 5 story buildings onto the cement below while people cheer them in the streets? I've seen those videos. There's countless videos. You can watch them till you get sick of watching them. Yet gay people will argue about how that's a small percentage. They've never watched these videos. So that's Islam. Well, let's go ahead and look at since liberals are now in the habit of calling conservatives Hitler, because they're associating conservatives with Nazi Germany because of they think that separating kids from their families when the families commit felonies by illegally entering the country is the same as Hitler rounding up and separating families and slaughtering them. This is the insanity of the left. But since they bring up Hitler and Nazis all the time, well, there's a form of socialism that turned into something a lot harsher. And how do you think gays were treated in Nazi Germany? Do the gay liberals have any clue about that? Or do they think that that's so far back? Oh, we don't give a shit about history unless it's slavery and we can make white people feel guilty. If there's no use for remembering the truth of history, we don't want to remember it. But if we can get a benefit out of it by eliciting hate, division, and votes, and white guilt, then we'll push, the pieces of history that will serve our goal, our agenda, we'll push those to the forefront. This is the insanity of the left. So, and we all know that communism, there are no two communist regimes that are the same. Communism is different depending on where you're at. But let's mix the gay people in my crowd back with the rest of the liberals. Forget the gays right now. Liberals will talk about their dream of classless societies where everybody's treated the same and everybody has the same amount of money and the same amount of property and life is beautiful. And yet when you ask them to point out an example of that society that has ever existed or does exist, they will sit there with the stalactites of drool hanging out of their mouth as they try to come up with an answer that doesn't exist. Because every single communist country, my wife was she's from a communist country, from Vietnam, so she was there before it turned communist. She lived in a free society that was taken over by communists. And there is no such thing as a classless society. What communism does is it makes the majority of the population poor. And then the small percentage of leadership at the top are filthy rich. That's communism for you. And they decide what you listen to and what you watch and what you read and blah, blah, blah. So we all know that. And so as I watch these liberals take these, what used to be baby steps and have evolved into giant leaps toward this murky description of what they think they want, I just, with each one of these giant steps, I just think to myself, my God, let's go back to my beginning question. I would ask them, what kind of country do you want? Because, do you want the kind of country where people can say only things that don't offend people? I mean, is that really what you want? That there are government laws that say that you can't express your opinion if it hurts somebody's feelings? Now, I have subscribers in the United Kingdom, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the United Kingdom has tightened up on its speech laws. If I'm not mistaken, people have posted things on YouTube and on Facebook and have ended up in jail because they were considered offensive or Islamophobic or whatever. Now, am I the kind of guy that wants to get out of the car and start motherfucking people? No. I respect people if they've earned it. But do you really want to live in a country where if I get out and say, hey, Donald Trump is a great person and Obama sucks, that I should go to jail? Because what's going to happen when it's a different set of people in charge and now your words are offensive to the majority and now you're sitting in the jail cell next to me? What happens then? You know? Do we really want to take away constitutional rights that we don't agree with? Knowing good and well that when you take away one right, that all of the rest will surely follow? That's just the... Does my little fictitious group or my large fictitious group, fantasy group of liberals, I'm talking to them now, do you people ever stop and wonder why you hate your country so much? Is it possible that you've been indoctrinated by agenda-driven college professors and an agenda-driven media and an agenda-driven Hollywood elitist group who are twisting and tweaking your brains and making you think a certain way? Do you not have any self-pride that makes you, forces you to go read the opposition, to go watch the opposition, to watch all of the media outlets, including Fox and including the BBC and including Russian television and including MSNBC, so that you can make your own mind up? Is there something stopping you from doing that? Aren't you ashamed of yourself when you don't do that? I mean, how must it feel to just be so blatantly manipulated? You're told to hate something, so you hate something. But you cannot explain why. This is proven over and over again. Man on the street interviews where you just switch the leaders. You know, you say that Obama or Hillary or Obama did something that Trump wants to do, and people love it. But when they find out it's Trump that wants to do it, they hate it. I mean, how does that not make people just ashamed and sick of their own just gullibleness? I don't understand that. I mean, don't we all want to be semi-intelligent or as intelligent as... Don't we all value, and don't you liberals value the ability to think for yourselves? I mean, you know, we talk about history. Liberal blacks live in history when it comes to the Civil War, but they only live in the pieces that push their agenda of this perpetual victimization so that they can get something out of it. Because when they talk about the losses of life in the Civil War, they never talk about the almost 1 million lives of Union soldiers that died on their behalf. And whether or not the Civil War was primarily about slavery or not, I know all the arguments. Those are all smokescreens. The Union fought against slavery, and so you had a lot of white people, and I don't care if it was just 10, but we're talking about just under 1 million, and I've never seen any acknowledgement from the black communities at large. I've never seen a day of remembrance or thanks. Yeah, black people fought in the Civil War too. Well, 130,000 black people died during the Civil War that were actually in uniform on the Union side. God bless them. But 130,000 versus almost 1 million white people, and it's like it never happened. You know? So we talk about the Democratic Party being the creators of the KKK, and Democrats and people on the left will say, well, that's history, that's ancient history. They conveniently say, oh, the side's reversed, and we're so fucking stupid we're supposed to believe that. Everything reversed so that now Democrats are Republicans and Republicans are Democrats. Well, what made that happen, and how convenient for that to happen? That seems mighty convenient. I tend to believe in the Occam's razor theory, and I don't believe in that shit, that things just reverse when we need them to reverse. So I call bullshit on that. How about the fact that the liberals, they created the KKK. They also were, the party that fought to keep slavery and to create all these Jim Crow laws, all of the segregation. And yet, because black people are told that they need to register and vote as Democrats, knowing good and well they've never gotten a goddamn thing, and that they're being used, and they still live in poverty, and they still slaughter each other, and the liberals that talk sweet to them during election time don't do shit about that. They still will sit there and vote like they're told to. And that's why I always call the liberals the new slave masters for black people. Because if you vote liberal and you're black, you're on a plantation, and that's just the fucking truth. Period. What do you know about it? You're white. You can't think like a black person. Because I'm fucking smart enough to fucking think for myself. And I have empathy. It's like I said, I've never been to Hawaii, but I believe it's there, and I got no interest in going. Because I can research it and find out shit. Which is what you should be doing. So I'm just curious. I mean, do these liberals, do you liberals out there in Fantasyland, do you guys want television shows that just show the things that you want them to show? Do you want books to be certain books that are a certain way, and you want to cut out all of history? Do you want statues that talk about real history and real things that happened, good, bad, and ugly, actually torn down, just like the Taliban that tears down statues and ISIS that tears down statues so that history's forgotten and you can implement your own false history? And if that's really what you want, what kind of person are you? And if you've given all of this thought on your own, beyond this video, and you've researched all of these things, and you still believe that that's the way to go, I got a hell of a lot more respect for you than these idiot liberals that I've talked to, and there's countless of them, that literally cannot articulate or justify any of their hatred. They can't really articulate based on any factual things. They just repeat shit that's been pumped into their head since they started going to school by these idiot fucking teachers that are destroying our youth. It's a sad thing, man. And let's see, on July 5th, I'll be 56 years old. And quite frankly, on the one hand, I think, man, if there's a civil war, I hope it happens when I'm young enough to do my part. But on the other hand, I'm really glad that I'm getting on the downward side of life, because I have a feeling that shit's going to get ugly. I mean, liberals eventually will outnumber conservatives. That just seems like basic math to me. And eventually they'll get their wishes, and the guns will be taken away, and we won't be able to say anything about people, and they'll be reporting us to the brown shirts, and people will be carted off to prisons and re-education camps. And I don't want to be alive to see that. And yeah, I will. In a way, I'll have a smirk on my face on my last breath when I hand the reins of this country over to the next generation, because you people are building exactly what you're going to deserve. But it's never too late to change your mind. Anyways, I hope everybody's having a good day. You guys stay safe. LMS Tactical. I'm going to go check out my new glasses.